In the last video, we discussed about human microbiome, and we said that the number of microorganisms in the human body could be more than the number of human cells actually. To be more precise, 1.3 times more number of microorganisms are present in our body as compared to human cells. That's a crazy fact, isn't it? Now, let us try and understand how this microbiome is formed. How do we come in contact with microorganisms? Because when we are growing as infants, as babies in our mother's womb, the uterus, where the development of the baby takes place, is considered to be free of microorganisms. Though this is a debatable fact these days, there are several scientists who are saying that this may not be so, because there could be few microorganisms that may be found in the uterus of the female too. But it is a well-established fact that the first coat of microorganisms that we humans get on our skin normally comes when the baby passes through the vaginal tract. So when there is a normal delivery process of the baby, so when the baby passes through the vaginal canal, that's when the microorganisms which are present in the vaginal tract of the mother gets coated onto the baby's skin. So that's the first coat of microorganisms that we get. Similarly, the first ingestion of microorganisms, that is intake of microorganism, occurs when the baby is fed with colostrum. Colostrum is nothing but mother's milk. So when the mother breastfeeds the baby, the milk contains very beneficial bacterial species which start residing in the intestine of the baby. Let me tell you that these bacterial species have a very important role to play in development of the immune system of the baby. Eventually, our microbiome evolves with time. As the baby grows, the kind of food that the baby eats, the kind of environment that the baby is living in, all this starts influencing the microbiome and its composition. So what kind of microorganisms are present in your microbiome right now is influenced by a variety of factors like the food that you consume, the environment that you are in, your lifestyle. There are so many different factors. As we go ahead, let us try and understand what the benefit of the microbiome basically is. A microbiome as a community will be beneficial to you or not will depend on the kind of microorganisms that makes your microbiome. To be honest, if you have beneficial microorganisms as a part of your microbiome, it helps you build your immunity. When you are born as an infant, you don't have an active immune system. Your immune system starts developing after your birth. Here is where your body comes in contact with different kinds of microorganisms, tries to understand them, and tries to develop mechanisms to deal with these microorganisms and keep them under a check so that they don't cause you an infection. That's how there is a treaty between your body and microorganisms. They start living in combination or with symbiotic relationship with each other. They are starting to live peacefully. But if there are some microorganisms which find a way to breach this contract and fool your body and your immune system, that's when infection takes place, right? So your system gets an opportunity to come in contact with different microorganisms in its surroundings and develop mechanisms so as to deal with them. That's how your immunity develops. But there's an interesting fact. Microbiome of your gut, of your intestine, will have an ability to influence the way you feel, the way you think, and the way you emote. Yes, there are several researchers, neurobiologists, microbiologists, who have found that the kind of microorganisms that you have in your intestine may decide how you are feeling emotionally at any given point of time. So indeed, microorganisms can influence your emotions. That is a fantastic fact, isn't it? Very interesting. At the same time, if you have healthy, beneficial microorganisms with you, they can take care of keeping infections at the bay. They will fight with the infectious organisms and will not allow them to establish an infection. So in a way, microorganisms protect you from other microorganisms from causing an infection. We humans, when we eat food, let me tell you that we can't digest everything that we eat. There are some components that our body can easily digest, while there are some which our digestive system cannot digest. But if you have microorganisms which have the ability to digest those components which you cannot digest, probably you will end up getting much more nutrition than what you would have just by carrying out the digestion process on your own. So bacteria can help you in this, wherein it will help you get the maximum nutrition that is possible from the food that you eat. These are just a few benefits to list. There are so many more benefits that can be listed as a part of having a healthy microbiome. So here we have discussed how microorganisms are ubiquitous, what a microorganism is, and how we come in contact with microorganisms for the first time, and what its benefits can be. In the next video, we will try and understand that if you have a microbiome, it's very important to know if you have beneficial organisms in them or harmful organisms in them. So a very interesting question, that are microorganisms our friends or are they our enemies? Stay tuned for it.